Yeah.
Well, I'll just mention Mickey and Janine Hades are yet to come. I believe in starting on time, so we'll start on time. Wayne Gilbart, our secretary, has yet to come too. He's working a job that could keep him late. And just before we offer grace, I'll go around the table and introduce everyone once more. Okay, so over there with the camera, looking this way, is Dr. Dick Ray from Olds. He's our vice president. Larry Thornton is our ring reporter. You know the man in red over there. And Bruce Gilmore. And he's close to the door. He'll catch the others on the way in. And there they are. On the table introducing everyone.
Okay.
So here we got Dr. Dick, who you know, Dick Ray, Larry Thornton, Bruce Gilmore. With the money. He's our treasurer. Mickey Hades, Janine, welcome. And then Les Brocklesby, who is our member at large and getting larger every minute.
Oh, thanks.
And then we have Everett Andrews, our territorial vice president. And on our right we have our ex-president or president, past president, past president. And I'm the president this year, Steve Harmer. This is Gil Wild and Steve Harmer. Yeah. So I'll just offer a word of prayer as we begin, okay? Dear God, we thank you that we can be together in the name of magic. We can have some fun together. We thank you for Len and the many, many, many years he's contributed to magic, and that we can have this dinner in his honor. And we ask you to bless our time together. In Jesus' name, amen.
So conventions this Oddfellows hold all around North America. She attended 32. She missed one. That's my gal.
That's when the year I was married.
So anyway, I got out this book about it. What was it, 35 or 30, about 40 pages. And I had a photographer there, and I had group photos of these different lodges. You know, there'd be all 6 or 7 or 8 or 10 people from each lodge coming to honor Ellen at her birthday party. You see. So I arranged with the Grand Master. I appointed him the arranger on this, and he got all these groups, and we got pictures of these groups for each lodge. You see, we'd be 8 or 10 lodges there. And then another thing I did. Now I'm talking about impact, Everett. I had a big display board, 18 feet long, 18 feet long, from about there way over to there, 18 feet, 4 feet high. And as you know, you can get with this pronto and this new laser printing. You can now get 8.5 by 11 prints in full color for 99 cents. They charge you $1.14 or $1.13. I'm sorry. Well, they've reduced to 10 cents. It's $1 now, but in those days it was $1.14. And I showed all these photos now in color. Now the ladies, nice group of 25 or 30 ladies, all in their pinks and the lavenders and the greens and brown, all these lovely shades, all in color. Calgary
Ring 66.
Ring number 66 of the IBM has asked me now to say a few words. I always like to cooperate with any chairman, and I'll be glad to do so. He's asked me to say a few words. So, ladies and gentlemen, a few words. Thank you very much.
All right.
You know, and they settled up north of Montreal, 80 miles up in the place called area called Mont Tremblant, in the 1820s, not the 1920s, 1820s. A lot of people from Ireland. You know, there's a potato famine in those years. You know, a lot of Irish and even the Scotsmen followed them. You see, my friends, white ancestors. But anyway. So every year or so we go back down to where my grandparents lived and see the old farm where my mother used to go down to visit her aunt, and we stayed a few months down there, and I went to school down there. And I went to this little school they built, this Knox Presbyterian Church in Crystal Falls, Arundel, Quebec. And this was in 1910. And at that occasion, the Sunday school class presented a Bible to the church. Of course, their parents brought it, but anyway, yes. Pardon?
The Sabbath school.
Oh, the Sabbath school. It was a Sabbath school in those days. And of course, today, you see, all the names of the 11 members of that class are in the flyleaf of the Bible on the pulpit. And of course, Melvin McMullen is one of them. I'm the last survivor, you see. But we go down there, and it's nice too. But I'm leading up to what you're concerned about. I got a phone call from Quebec City. I didn't know anybody. A ranger just called my cousins where we were visiting, you see. Mr. McMullen, would you be willing to appear on the CBC next Friday at 4:45, interviewed by phone from Quebec City? Well, I said yes. So they did. They phoned me up, you know, and phoned me one other time before that, got everything lined up. But I went, no, that's a good time, according to people going home from work and so on. And I played in Quebec, the province of Quebec, they have 44 radio stations in the CBC radio network, 44. Well, my interview is about 3/4 of an hour interview. It covered them all but Montreal, 43. Now, and what I'm leading up to in this, of course, they asked me about magic and all that, and I gave him quite a tribute about magic and talked about what a wonderful hobby it was, and it challenged the mind and sharpened the wits and stimulated the imagination, and what a wonderful country Canada was. At the time, we need that type of talking, you know, if it's going on in Canada today. So this was everybody liked the talk, and nothing brilliant about it, but I just said the type of thing that was timely and was helpful and I think useful.
From your heart.
Yeah, from that. And with a little enthusiasm. I know all through this, you're going out and talking about Manitoba, you're talking about Winnipeg, or you're talking about magic or anything else. You got to do it with a little enthusiasm. If you, and that's I forgot to tell you that during all these talks that I gave in the Chamber of Commerce and the Golden Boys around Manitoba, just think of what I was doing. I was going into a community, particularly with the Chamber of Commerce, and talking about that community. You know, this is a community development. What have they been doing? What things have they tried to do? What have they been successful at? What could they do? And offer them any suggestions that occurred to me. And I did this all over the province. But if you go into a town and talk like that, that's great stuff for the local news editor, isn't it? You know, that's what he wants. His job is to sell the community and build up the spirit of the community and the progress of the community. So I saved those write-ups. And I went into, let me see, I went into Selkirk. But you're too generous. Anybody else? Well, actually, gentleman and distinguished, charming lady, there's 160. 160 members of the United Nations. Today, the IBM has, as I last count, between 50 and 60 countries. Well, there's a big area to be worked on, eh? Now, I won't mention the name, but I had a letter from one of these fellows that were trying to help with the revision of the IBM or reorganization. And he said, I wish you luck, but he says, that's too big a job. No job's too big if you organize for it. No job is too big if it's organized right, and people know what they're doing. And there's no reason why you couldn't have this office set up, and then the president, like Costerman says, God, I don't know how I'll do it. The other day I had to write 25 letters. Well, I think back to my girl that wrote 40 letters every night, you know, and did 25 to 30 every night all week long. But you've got to work at it. You've got to correspond. You've got to, my vision is, let me say, what's the difference between the IBM and the SAM? What is the difference? What do you think? You ever thought about that?
One of the differences is that anybody can be a member of the IBM and hold office. In the SAM, you have to be an American citizen to hold office in the SAM.
Yeah. Well, let me say this. The Society of American Magicians is, as its name implies, a society of American magicians, right? All right. just as you say, for the United States of America. America. Now the IBM is entirely different, and always has been from the very beginning, the concept of it. It's an international society. It doesn't belong to Canada, it doesn't belong to the United States, even though that we're beat there, but it's not a United States organization, it's not a British organization. It doesn't belong to any country, it covers the world. And every member should, in an international society, should be an equal member, eh? You pay equal dues, and you get equal benefits. Now they come along with, again, I must use that idiotic word, idiotic. They started to charge the members beyond the shores of North America extra for the postage for the linking ring. Oh, they said, well, you subscribe and it costs you more, you've got to charge more. They look upon the linking ring as a commercial magazine. Well, it's not a commercial magazine, never is intended to be. The linking ring is the voice of the IBM. And the main purpose of the linking ring is to build up the progress and advancement of the IBM and build up the spirit, build up the backing, build up the membership. That's the main purpose. The tricks and everything, that's incidental, although necessary, you see. But that's the one purpose.
Yes.
There's one.
Oh, there's that one.
Are we level?
Yeah.
Take several.
Try it.
We'll hold still.
Don't move around because you take one picture.
Take two separate because you're gonna have to splice
Well,
them.
don't move around.
Okay, nobody move. And Wayne, did you get everybody in one shot?
Probably not.
Okay.
Pick again? That's
All right, are we done?
Okay, we'll try one of the whole.
Mark's not in this one here.
Yeah, Dick's
Oops,
not in
just a
here.
minute.
Get over here.
Yeah.
Just a little more.
What about less?
Okay, as soon as we get the fingers out of the way.
No, let's Dick.
Let's stick. Dick right.
I'm going blind.
Make a presentation to Ring 77 of the International Brotherhood of Magicians. This historic photo layout of the first 20 linking rings and all that material. I want to present that to the club, and I'm hoping that if the Diamond Jubilee, if the IBM develops 2 years from now, as I hope it will, 1947 will be the Diamond Jubilee of the IBM, and surely that's an occasion where people with imagination and get their heads together. They can use that as an occasion to develop this internationalism. You know, every 25 years or so, Canada's made a great thing out of it. The States have made a great thing out of it. Vancouver's made a great thing out of a jubilee, and that's just the occasion. That's the setting, and it gives you the opportunity. I don't mean that you should have a IBM convention with 5,000 people at it. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the emphasis on magic and using that occasion to pay special tribute to all the performers, all the supporters of the IBM during the past years at the convention, and getting out a nice program like Durban used to do, and all those things that can be done, like we used to do with our Golden Boy Award banquets. I did it for 10 years, you see, with the Golden Boys, and you build it up. You find ideas that are going to focus people, and you thank people, and it's just a great, glorious celebration. And it can be done. And now is the time to start thinking about that. And I leave that in case that it's something useful that you can use as a display in your local club in 1947. And if I'm still living, send me a phone call. Let me know that you're doing it.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Okay.
You're way behind time.
You're way behind. Oh, okay. I just got,
97 even.
Yes, 90.
oh, did I say 47? Oh, I was thinking of my wife's birthday.
Nicely done.
Now, just quickly, I've only got 3 minutes left here. The chairman's looking at me.
2 minutes.
Oh, 2 minutes. Yeah. Oh, just quickly. I want to just leave this. Now, those who got the book, you got your book, Mickey? Everybody got the book. You got your book out? Everybody got the book out. Because I just want to point these things out quickly. Well, I'm sitting there at 12 years of age. My mother took me to the Winnipeg exhibition, and I'm sitting on a donkey. I don't want to make any foul remarks about that. Now, in some of your copies in heaven for all. There's a photographic supplement in here of about 100 of the, I don't know whether you're in here, Mickey, you may be, of 100 well-known magicians who were at the unveiling of the IBM's birthplace plaque in 1986 with their photos. It's quite an interesting thing, what they said and the people who they were, you know, just to go along with the book. And here, and I've put in a glossy 8 by 10 for my special friends that I gave this to. There was a nice, very nice one of Di Vernon, and don't forget Di Vernon was a Canadian, and I've got listed there all the other, some of the other famous Canadians like Sid Lorraine and Johnny Bourdain and all those. There we are with Copperfield.
Who? Who are you with?
He was a child.
I know Len, but
You've
who's
never
the
heard
other
of
guys?
He
And,
was an exceptional child
Yes.
magician
you
in
know,
out of this world.
what is that? 53 years ago, you know, I invested. God, I guess it cost me. It cost me $5. I made an investment of $5, and you know what parlayed into $1 million? I took out a license plate, wedding license, and it parlayed into $1 million baby. How's that? All right. Now there's a page about taken from the last time I was here. Some of you boys here, and what was in the linking ring and so on. And there's the 90 flamingos in the front yard there. There's the one that was in the front page of the Free Press. Now this one, 92. That is just for my friends that have poor eyesight. I had the 92 made rather big. And of course it remarks, June the 19th, 1995, Len Vintus, the founder of the IBM, was 92. All right. And there's holding up the plaque. You know, I've had a lot of people take that plaque and take a picture of it and say that they were at the unveiling in the spirit and so on. That's nice. There's a picture of the Toronto group. They gave me a party there, and they have a banner, holding a banner there about that. Now, here, this is an interesting, this picture here with on this page where it says a dream come true. There's a picture, I'm of course holding the World Directory. That same photo was, I autographed it to Les Snottle, the last year's president of the British Ring, and the club and the British Ring presented that photo along with an autographed photo from David Copperfield to the new president. And I thought the association for me was pretty good, Copperfield. Now, men, I want you to say your prayers here. This is the heart of the whole thing here. On this page here, you got it with the what Durbin says. There's been a lot of I shouldn't call it rubbish, but it's inaccurate remarks made about the founding of the IBM, and I was a co-founder, and Mr. Durbin was the first president, and it says at one place that the IBM actually came into being in June the 12th, 1926 in Ohio. Actually in print in those words. You know, all that is garbage. You know, there was 400 or 500 members at that time. But anyway, Mr. Durbin says a nice thing. He says that Len Vintus brought the organization down to what it is today and made it what it is. He says that right there. So I'll quote right from his words, you see. And there's Durbin, and there's Blackstone who gave her the medal. And there's remember the Hall of Fame. Well, it's kind of although it's not accurate for me. I'm not a famous magician, but that's what they call it, so I can't quarrel with them. And there's my fellowship from the Academy of Magical Arts. And then there's the unveiling of the plaque, the first headquarters. You know, we had the flash paper over it. You see, covered with flash paper. And then Doug Henning, you see, he took a flash lighter, cigarette lighter, and then set it to the little piece of string here, and then come with it, just like that. You see, you can see it bursting there. And it was really good. The TV picked it up and it made a dandy clip, and so on. Now I'm just about to give me another minute. And now there's Jerry. This is his assistant, in case you're wondering who it is. He's drinking while, of course, while he grunts. And there's the readable copy of what's on the plaque, you see, just for your record. Now, there's a pretty good. This is the way I was able to get married here. In 1939, the Free Press had these